Prefab Layer Painter is a non-destructive terrain painting tool for Unity. Instead of painting trees, rocks, grass, and other objects directly into your scene, you paint editable layers that can be regenerated at any time. That makes it much easier to iterate as your level evolves. I thought I'd do a quick devlog update because I've added quite a few new features since the last video. Originally, the asset only supported painting regular prefabs, similar to how Unity normally instantiates them. It now also supports painting terrain trees, terrain details, and terrain textures. One of the biggest additions is support for terrain textures, and it opens up some really interesting workflows. Here I have a rule set assigned to this layer. It contains all of my terrain textures, along with slope and height restrictions for each one. Now I can make the brush absolutely enormous and paint across the entire terrain in a single pass. The entire terrain has now been textured automatically. Each texture is placed according to the slope and height rules defined in the rule set, so rock textures naturally appear on steeper terrain, while flatter areas receive the appropriate ground textures. Of course, everything is still fully editable. You can always switch to Unity's terrain tools afterward and manually paint or fine-tune anything you want. This layer is only using the texture module, but this other layer has both the texture module and several terrain modules enabled. When I generate this layer, everything happens in a single pass. Now the system paints terrain textures while also placing vegetation according to the same slope and height rules. Instead of treating each terrain system separately, they're all generated together from a single layer. One thing I really like about this workflow is that the layer covers the entire level. That means I can switch over to Unity's terrain tools and completely reshape the landscape. Let's raise some terrain here. Now imagine the designer decides this level needs another island. Normally, that would mean manually repainting textures, vegetation, and other terrain elements. Instead, I simply reshape the terrain, switch back to Prefab Layer Painter, and click Generate All. Everything updates automatically. The textures, vegetation, and terrain objects are regenerated based on the rules, adapting themselves to the new landscape. Let's try another example. This time I'll lower this section because I don't want rocks over here anymore. Once again, I simply click Generate All. The environment updates automatically, rebuilding itself according to the rules without requiring any manual repainting. I've also expanded the subtraction system. Let me switch over to the subtraction tool. Instead of always removing everything, you can now choose exactly which terrain systems are affected. For example, I can remove vegetation from an area while leaving the painted terrain textures completely untouched. The next time I regenerate, those textures remain exactly where they were. I've also added blocking subtractors. These allow you to define layers that cannot be modified by subtraction beneath them. As your project grows and you build larger stacks of layers, this gives you much finer control over how those layers interact. Another major improvement is support for Unity's built-in terrain tree system. Instead of placing thousands of regular prefab instances, trees are now generated as native terrain trees, giving you the performance benefits of Unity's optimized terrain system while still keeping the flexibility of the layer-based workflow. That's the latest progress on Prefab Layer Painter. My goal is to have it available on the Unity Asset Store within the next week or two. If you'd like to follow the development of the project and see future updates, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you found this video helpful, leaving a like really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next devlog.